Hello, welcome back to my sewing room. My name is Robyn and I do sewing and crafting tutorials. So if you like that type of video, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. I have a lot of amazing creative things coming up in the future. But today I'm going to show you how easy it is to sew with Minky fabric. You won't believe how easy this is. I used press and seal to hold my fabrics together to sew them. I didn't use any pins. So you won't believe how amazing, how easy this is. I made this Minky fabric blanket. Look at how pretty the seams are. I made this Minky blanket for my future granddaughter who's coming in April. And I did Minky on one side and a flannel floral on the other side. I can't wait to show you how easy this is. Who would have thought you could use press and seal instead of pins, and it holds the fabric and keeps it from stretching or moving, and it just sews up so quick and easy. This is amazing. This has saved my life. But today I'm going to show you how I made this little baby doll blanket, so it'll be easier for you to see on camera, to see the whole thing and how I did it using press and seal. You're not going to believe this. You're going to love this. So let's get started. To get started, I cut my flannel 24 inches by 16. And I cut my Minky fabric. This one is cut 26 by 17 and a half. And this doesn't really matter, the size. You just want to make sure it's at least about 1 or 2 inches bigger than the flannel. So now I'm going to take, see which is this side is the top, because it goes down nice and smooth. And I'm going to put the flowers this way. So we're going to put right sides together, making sure to leave a good amount of the Minky showing on all 4 sides. Get this nice and straight. Okay, and here is this amazing hack. I'm not using any pins. I'm going to use press and seal by Glad. And it's kind of sticky, but it doesn't leave a residue on the fabric. It just holds it together, so it's easy to sew. And then when you cut away the Minky, it doesn't leave a mess. It takes all the little dusty little bits of this Minky fabric and it sticks to this and it doesn't go all over your sewing room. So I'm going to take this I'm going to lay it down here. Just lay this down. And this is exactly what I did with my larger baby blanket. I did the same thing. I'm just doing a smaller version so you can actually see what I'm doing. So then I just put that down and then I'm just going to cut this away. And use this other half for this side. Make sure this is nice and straight. Okay, now I'm going to take the other half of this and put it on this side. Move this around so I can do it easier. Holding this side down, I'm going to cut away the excess. And I'm going to take it and put it on this side. excess off. Put this over here. Cut off this excess. And put this over here. So out of that one piece I started with here, I was able to do all 4 sides. I'm just going to cut the excess off just so it's not in my way. And this is exactly how I did my larger baby blanket. It was amazing to be able to use this press and seal and use no pins, and it held it together. I'll put a link in the description box so you can download my tips and tricks and hacks for making this Minky baby blanket. So make sure you go to my description box and click the link to print this for free. Because using all these steps will make this such an easy blanket to make. Okay, now let's go to the sewing machine. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to remind you to make sure you leave a 4-inch opening for turning. So I put just 2 pins 4 inches apart. So I'm not going to sew here, so that's where we'll be able to turn the blanket right side out. So I'm going to start sewing here and pivot and turn at the corner and go all the way around. Okay, let's head to the sewing machine. Okay, we're at the sewing machine, and one of the key things about making this easy to sew is you want to make your stitch length 3.5. I'm doing a 3.5 stitch length. I'm using my walking foot, and I'm using a 90-14 stretch needle. Very important. The walking foot, the 90-14 stretch needle, and my stitch length is 3.5. Okay, and we're going to start sewing here so that we can leave that opening. And we're going to do about a 1/2 inch seam allowance from the flannel, because you always want to leave excess Minky all around your blanket. It'll make your life so much easier. And then we'll just cut it away after we're done sewing. So about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Let me see. This needs to go over my needle. Push my needle over so it's more 1/2 inch. Yep. Okay, we're going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and we're just going to do a straight stitch. But I'm going to do a fixed stitch or do a back stitch in the beginning. Oops, needle stop down. I went a little too far. Let me back it up. There. That's better. Okay, come to where we want to stop. Do a fixed stitch. And we're done. Clip our threads. Okay, we finished sewing our seam all the way around. And now we're just going to tear off the press and seal. Just tear off the press and seal. It just rips away from the thread. It's a little bit more time consuming to tear off the press and seal, but it's so much easier than trying to fight this fabric, trying to sew it with pins, because the pins just tend to want to fall off and the fabric stretches. Oh wait, we're going to cut that part off. I forgot. Okay, now we just tore the press and seal off the flannel. Now we're going to just cut. We're going to cut the corners and then just trim off the Minky. And trim each corner like that, so we'll have a nice sharp corner, and then just keep trimming all the way around. And by having the press and seal still on this, there's no mess. See? No mess. It's awesome. Especially if you use the more furry kind, this would be a lifesaver. Cut that corner. I'm going to leave a little excess fabric here where I'm going to turn it so that it can fold in where I'm going to fold in. Gonna leave a little excess here to fold in when I turn it right side out. So there'll be enough fabric to tuck inside. There, all the Minky's cut away, and now we're just gonna finish taking off the rest of this press and seal. I forgot what these are called, but they're kind of like little surgical plier things. But anyway, this really helps me to remove the press and seal on the edge. Helps me grab it, see, like that. And then I can just pull it off like that, super easy. And it just pulls right off. Take that right off. It helps me get a hold of it, and then I just pull it right off. Okay, we removed all of the press and seal, and now we're going to go in here and turn it right side out. Go in and poke out your corners. And tuck in this little opening. And just kind of press it with your fingers, because you cannot iron this because it will melt your Minky. So just press it with your hands and tuck this in, pin it, the opening closed to hold it until we get to the sewing machine. Like that. Okay, now let's head to the sewing machine and we'll do a top stitch all the way around. Okay, we're at the sewing machine again. I'm going to use my walking foot and my 90-14 stretch needle. and I'm going to keep it at a 3.5 stitch length. I'm going to start here right where my opening is, and I'm going to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance, lining my foot up with the edge of my fabric. I'm going to take out this pin, and I'm going to do a fixed stitch and needle stop down. To the corner, I'm going to stop, needle stop down, pivot. I need to go a little bit more. One more stitch. There. That's perfect. I'm going to trim my threads. I'm almost to the end where I first started. Trim my threads so they don't make a mess when I connect these stitches. Okay. Started. So past a little bit right there. And do a fixed stitch. And we're done. Clip our threads. Okay, we're all finished sewing the baby doll blanket. Look at how nice and even these seams are. Didn't that come out beautiful and so easy without the mess? I can't wait to give my granddaughter a little baby doll to go with this blanket for her. And then here's the baby blanket I made for my granddaughter. Whoops. Isn't that beautiful? So comment below and tell me how you like this hack. This has made my life so much easier, sewing with press and seal. And if you like this video, check out this video right over here. I think you'll like it. Thank you for joining me today. Have a so blessed day. Bye for now.